Welcome to the Vulnerability Rocks podcast. You're listening to Emma Belle, and I believe that true healing starts with sharing.
I'd just like to introduce the podcast to you, why I've started it and what's the purpose of it. I have been through my own experiences over the last few years and have gone through a lot of work to address what's really going on underneath. And what it's taught me is that our real healing starts with sharing. It's only when we're brave enough to share what's been going on, and I don't mean sharing that publicly. It can be with a therapist, with a counsellor, with somebody, but only in sharing can we actually start to find true healing, because in sharing we are not leaving any space for shame to grow. All the time that we're keeping things inside and keeping things to ourselves, it does create negative feelings. So in sharing, you can, 1, own it, 2, you can take responsibility for it, 3, we can start to address what we can do and how we can change it, and 4, we can actually draw strength from others, because quite often when we're going through these times, we have this overwhelming feeling that we're essentially alone in how we are. And that's just not true. What we'll generally find is whatever we're experiencing in life, we will have a community of people who will have been through something similar, who have walked in similar shoes, who when you sit in a room with them, you can speak and they will nod and they will understand. So I really believe that by us sharing some of our most vulnerable times, seasons in life, what that looked like for us, how we came out the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Healing is messy, healing is difficult. Then I really believe that's where we can help each other to find our own healing. Now, healing is our own responsibility. Nobody can do that for us, only we can do it for ourselves. But to be inspired to take those first steps, I generally find it comes from others. So a lot of my inspiration in my own work has come from being inspired by others that have done the journey before me or are doing the journey before me, or others that have had similar experiences, and I can draw from some of their strengths, some of their mistakes. But we only learn this by sharing and showing up and being vulnerable. So in my eyes, vulnerability is a bit of a superpower, and that's why I've called the podcast Vulnerability Rocks. In the coming episodes, I have some great guests lined up who have personally inspired me, and I just think that they have so much to share with people that can help others. The main objective of this podcast is that just one person listens to an episode and they leave believing that it's worth them not giving up, that they believe it's worth them hanging on for one more day if they're feeling suicidal especially, or just that it's worth hanging on in there, because guess what, even when life is really, really tough and really, really ugly, there are things, there are options, there are ways. But when you feel alone, that's when we get into a very dangerous and dark place, because they're the places where we suddenly start to believe we're on our own and there's nowhere else to go. So by sharing these episodes with you and sharing these amazing people with you and their stories, I really hope that someone listens and someone says, do you know what? I can keep going. So if we achieve that with just one person, then that is objective achieved for this podcast. So I won't introduce, but I'll just give you a quick idea of some of the guests that we're expecting to share with you. I have a guy called Kevin who is known as the 52 Marathon Man. He ran 52 marathons in a year. with the message suicide is not a dirty word. So he's campaigning hard for suicide prevention, suicide awareness, and he's doing an amazing job. His passion is running. It didn't start as a passion, but it became an obsession, and I'm excited for you to hear more about his story. We're also going to be talking to Emily, who has been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and worked in the medical profession herself, and has since totally transformed her life around her treatment and everything that goes with her diagnosis. She has an incredible outlook on life, and I cannot wait for you to be introduced to her. I believe she will inspire many people. Also, I've got a lady called Maria. Now, Maria has completed all manner of fundraising activities to help a group of young vulnerable girls out of a horrendous situation in their home country, and to bring them here to Dubai to give them a better life, give them an education. They found scholarships. This lady is selfless, incredible, and everybody that meets her absolutely raves about her. So I'm excited for you to meet her. She also fosters about 1 million cats, I think. Then we've also got another lady who's the founder of Rising Stars. She's working hard to promote children of determination and getting them involved in the sporting arenas, in all different arenas. She's managed to partner up with one of the gyms here, in particular with boxing, and we have some professional boxers who are on board as ambassadors and supporting her cause. There are so many people that I'm so excited to introduce you to, and I just hope to bring a little bit of inspiration, some hope, and to encourage others to know that even when life gets tough, it can get better, and it's worth hanging on for.
Thank you for listening, and I look forward to introducing you to my guest in my next episode.